employees today want to be inspired. They want to know that you really care. So the biggest way to do that is a couple different things, is to include them, to listen. So I think about it as, the dashboard of a car. Here in the States, everyone has their own car. It's got to be mine. And, so, a lot of the new cars, whether it's an electric car, we have the fancy dashboards and you can see your climate control, you can see your speed, direction. I think today's leaders have to be able to look at sort of what's happening in the vehicle. Are my passengers happy? Is it the right temperature? Do you have the right seat? Those are the employees. But then you also need to know where you're going, and you have to be able to, obey the traffic law. So the regulations of your organization, of the government bodies, and you can't just do one. You got to be able to control the vehicle, get there efficiently, on time, but you also have to be paying attention to what's happening in your car. And I think that's the metaphor, for what modern leadership needs to look like. And it's at that unit level that really people experience. Whatever company that you own, that you're leading in, it's not at the big level. You may have the best CEO, the best leader, a amazing corporate culture. But if at that micro level, like we're talking about, if the people aren't getting what they need from the leader, if they feel like, hey, this is cookie cutter, then your company stinks from their perspective, because we're talking to less and less people. So although we're more connected than ever before, the experience, because of hybrid work and this virtual work environment, people are actually talking to less and less people. So that small unit is really where the emphasis needs to be. And you have to be flexible within there to understand what your employees need. So
I really believe very strongly, I have zero illusions this is ever going to happen, but I very strongly believe that you should be trained to be a leader and a manager before you get the job to be a leader and a manager. Yeah. So if you think about any other profession, and I'm always on my soapbox about this, but I mean, you wouldn't expect a doctor to learn by doing, would you? You wouldn't throw a lawyer into a courtroom without training.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm on your platform. I'm with you 100%. Tom Brady, who is a quarterback who retired, he got paid $35 million to be an analyst, and he had enough sense to say, I am not ready to do this job. I need a year to train. And they're paying him. I'm like, brilliant. It's a great example of, if I want to do it, I want to do it right. You have a responsibility to train me if you want the best of me. So I'm with you.
I'm not even against on the job, learn by doing training, but the proviso is that it's properly facilitated and that there is an actual trainer or mentor there. Because in a lot of companies, certainly ones where I've worked, on the job training in inverted commas means you get the job and then we're going to ignore you and you've got to figure it out on your own.
Well, that's here too. that translates to both sides of the pond. It truly does. A lot of times it's like, we drop you in the water, you either swim or we'll pull the body out.
Yeah, and if we have to pull the body out, it was your fault. But if we don't, it was because of us.
Your last pay.
Yeah, what a lovely analogy. Yeah.
I know, horrible. We should go back to chicken.
Yeah, I normally say sink or swim, but you took that a step further with actually.
I know, I did make it morbid. I think the biggest lesson that I've learned is you have to, and I'm going to give my elder brother credit for this. He rose to level. He was in law enforcement, and he was able to retire as a police commissioner. And one of the things he shared with me is, you always have multiple constituents. And I think that's the thing that I've learned. You have to take care of the people in the car. So that's one constituent group. And then the people who hired you to be manager, leader, you have to take care of them as well. So you can't just be about one thing. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I've learned is you always have to be thinking, how does this impact all of my constituent groups? And for a lot of people, it's shareholders, it's the internal employees, managers. You have to make sure all those people, are happy. And for me, it requires you to have really excellent communication skills. And I believe we just don't train leaders enough how to do that. Once again, it's like you took that speech course in uni and you're good, and we put you through one here, and like everything you need to do as a leader, no, it's one of the most important skills. How you message things, why we're doing this initiative, how you listen to people and pull them into conversation. No one is born knowing how to do that. And I think it's just knowing that you have multiple people you need to keep happy, and how you communicate up the chain is different than how you communicate to the people who are in the trenches doing the work. Those are different skill sets.